session this week, as it's been usual only on Tuesday, isn't it? If this is your first time, my objective here is not to make calls, but to narrate the flow. Okay, the intention is to show that the competitive edge you can get mixing techniques of analysis. Okay, technical analysis, regardless the way you do it, with order flows such so as one can support each other in your decision making process. Okay, we always start with a quick brief about past, about what happened before and what could be coming next. Okay, and we've seen a strong a strong week, even though on Friday we have a kind of lack of decision, as it's usual in these rallies. Market made kind of a pause. The move that is actually healthy in my point of view. But you see here, if you see here, the weekly chart here, we have a big green candle, a big one that we hadn't maybe for 10 weeks. It's really strong. And looking at the daily chart, we had a Thursday after funk last Thursday. We had a huge big green candle, but on Friday, kind of indecision, and maybe after such a rally, uh, we have some players making profits or sometimes waiting for the correction for a correction. And on Friday, it grabs my attention that in the depth of market here at Superdome, that is something I really like using. We had almost the half of the amount we've been seen before. Okay, in latest months, weeks, we've been doing 600, 700, 800 till 2,000 contracts in the first 10 levels of the book. And on Friday, it reduced it to 700, 800, and the volatility increased as well. Okay, if we see the 15 minutes from last Friday, we can see that, it's fixed. Let me put here in automatic. We can see the beginning of the session last Friday. It was not that easy. Price got shaking, big candles, both red and green in the 15 minutes. It for me shows how it's a kind of indication of volatility and shows that it was not that easy to trade. And then in the afternoon, we've seen a downtrend. Okay, today we're opening the regular trading hours with a gap. Last close was on 453.75. Okay, 453.75, and we are opening at the 44.36. It's interesting here to see we have a Fibonacci from the top in January 22 to low in October. We can trace a Fibonacci retracement, and we see that at 42.72 we had a breakout. It has worked as a resistance for many times, and then the next one would be in 44.27 that it passed through last week. And so I'm curious about this region. I will be looking at the 40. Oh, just opening. I'll be looking at the 44.30. For me, it's a key region. Even though for Fibonacci we can consider 10 points up and down, above and below. Is not that that precise point, but a region. Okay, so I would say that maybe this 30 would be important. We have a couple of ranges traded last week. Then from 47 to 27, I guess. 40, 47 to, actually 47 to 400 is a big volume range from last week. But the 22, 23 region was really strong. So trading below the 30 here, the 22 would be the point, okay? But I think that we can see an increased activity here in the 30, 27, since it's an important region. We've seen a pullback in 29 last week. I don't remember in which session. It came to 29, then moved upwards towards the 90. So I think will be a key region we should look at. So let's see. Let me put here in the 15 minutes again. Let's see. Let's wait and see where the ranges will be. Okay, here I have I like seeing the pivot points, but today the one we have the screen is related to yesterday's session, and it was reduced, so I don't like considering this. So this session, let me put my glasses. And this session I prefer not to see unless I use the Friday ones. But let's see what we can get. So far we don't have any range here, okay. We had an exhaustion in 31. So at least in the very beginning, it has shown that the 30 region I've mentioned, it could work. Okay, let's see up there to where it's going. I have noted the 44.40 as well, and it's also the pivot point support one. As I mentioned, I don't take this into consideration, but going by chance, it's in the same point. Let's keep an eye here in the volumetric bars to try to figure out regions. Let's see where players will put their action. We see so far we have 900, 800 contracts in depth of market. Remember, I've just mentioned. Yeah, Aaron. Aaron is saying that's a very small range. Um, yeah, maybe try Friday close. Friday close was on 53, and Friday low was 51. So we have this gap, even not regarding only to the close, but also to Friday's low. So fading to reach Friday's the 44.51 could confirm weakness. Let's see. But I was mentioning today so far, it's only 5 minutes, but we are seeing also a fewer volume at the depth of market, okay. In the warm sessions during the rally, or even before it during May, we've seen 16 to 1900 here in each of them. So 800 to 900, this amount lower than 1000, we can see when we see these lower amounts, we usually see prices shaking a bit more, shaking more, okay. Or I mean, it increase a bit the volatility, and we should be vigilant. let's see here. Look, from 39, we are starting to see a concentration of volume from 39 to 41, 40.75. Okay, this is the first. This is the first signal I would read from what we're seeing so far. We had an exhaustion in 41.75. Now we are seeing this absorption in 41. But at the same time, look here at the 4,000 ticks. After the opening, prices are moving upwards. Okay, we cannot tell about an uptrend. Actually, it's too early to say this, but prices are moving after reaching the 31. So I would say that this 44.30 is a region we should be looking at. And after the rally, last week's rally, and considering the reason it was based on, I mean, macroeconomic perspective, etc. I think that I would say that it could be difficult to revert this, because this is not based on speculation. It, in theory, we have fundamentals for that. So instead of a possible reversal, I would say that a correction would be likely. We would be likely to see a correction or pullback, but considering the volume, it would not be easy to push price down. Then we could, in important points, it would be, I would say, at least in the first attempts, it would be easier to see pullbacks or to see defense and trying to move upwards again than seeing fail, than seeing the breakout. Okay, let's see. Let me just turn off my camera. Just a second. Just not to just try to increase the speed. Let's follow up the volume. Last week we had last Friday there was the settlement of June's contract, so we had an increased volume during the week. It makes a bit difficult to make comparisons based on each session's volume, because in the rollover close to the week of the settlement, even though on Friday all the volume was on September settlement, during the week it especially at beginning it was a bit divided. But let's see here. You see, I've mentioned the region of the 44.40. Okay, we are in the negative territory here. We are seeing a concentrated volume, and so it's not, even though we are moving upward since opening, this is not that bullish. This is not actually bullish. So let's see, now here we have the volume down here was a bit, it was small volume, but we're seeing an increased volume here. So from 39.25 to 42, this is becoming an important region in this opening. Let's see if it will break down here or It could also try to move upwards again and fail at some point above. But so far, I would keep noted here the 41, the 41.50, it failed to overcome it. Then in the next, possible next time it reaches the region, I'll be looking at the how it would behave there. We are reaching the 36 that we've seen. Not that, this is not a big volume, but for the time being, yes, we are 11 minutes. Then so far we could highlight it. But we are seeing that in terms of volume, it's becoming difficult to divide, to subdivide in ranges. Okay, we have traded here, then it move upwards, move it upwards, make this, then it's coming down. So we need to be patient and try to get things clear before eventually, let's see, it reached the 36. Now it's trying to recover. I would say that failing to reach the 38 here and coming below the 36, maybe 35, then we could see a test in the 31 again. Now we are seeing buyers, look here in the right column of this volumetric bar. We're seeing buyers making aggressions, but sellers absorbing it. Let's see here, as I've mentioned, it failed in 750 and trading below 36. Then we could see at least a test here in the, even though it was a defense in 350, it could be a test in the 250 here, maybe. Let's see here, 33, let's say. We could see a test in 33. That is the kind of the beginning of the lower range. Let me put Aaron mentioned about the 5 minutes. Let's see here, 5 minutes. Yeah, this 5 minute, we had a big one firstly, but then let's here in this very beginning, I like using the 2 minutes so as I can get more bars to compare. What we're seeing, let's see, 4,000 ticks. We've opened down here. We've moved it to 42. Let's count this story. Okay, let's make the context. We moved upwards, and there was a kind of strong, let's say, strong barrier in the 41, 42. Okay, we moved it downwards and failed to make a new low. It was aborted on 33.75. So now let's see if we're heading again to 41, if it will reach the 41, but we're saying that sellers are defending in the way. Okay, let's see here. Let's see here, because failing, let's see, now we are seeing buyers trying to speed up. The move is getting faster. We see here the volume in depth of market increased. Let's see if this volume in 39, we had an exhaustion in 950. Then sellers made aggressions, buyers absorbed. So we are seeing that buyers are trying to defend their interest in this region. Okay, they're interested in this. Let's see what happened in 41.75. In the case it reaches, but we're seeing now this defense in the 40, and in this case, failing to reach the 42 confirms the weakness we are mentioning. But as I always mention, we have this. I like looking at the ranges at volume profile, and even though I'm seeing this strength in the 38, now it failed to overcome the 40. When I have this mess here, you're seeing lots of contracts, thousands of contracts in every level. I don't like trading in this middle because my stop would need to be on above the top, and I don't like. I would prefer to see a fail up here, lose a possible trade down here, then incurring the risk of trying to eventually make a short and have a big stop, or even stop me up there and then moving favorable. The ideal scenario, I would say, could be, in my perspective, to see a breakout up here, prices making an exhaustion. This is the kind of move I like trading. And then we could see, upon an exhaustion there, buyers fading. Then we could see sellers overtaking the lead and reassuming the lead, and then pushing downwards until maybe the 36 again. Let's see. I'm a bit curious about this week because the main event, anticipated event, was the FONC last week with interest rates. This week is a bit, the economic schedule is a bit calmer than previous one, but we'll have almost every session there will be Fed or FONC guys speaking, and buyers is always careful looking. Oh, so let's see what happens. We should see buyers putting pressure up here. They should continue aggressions so as to be able to overcome the 4150. They are doing this, okay. Buyers are making aggressive orders, but sellers absorbing, confirming that, uh, look what we've seen here, an exhaustion 4150, but considering the aggressions, I wouldn't be comfortable to do something right at that time. But we are seeing buyers, sellers absorbing down here. Let's see if they will be able to overcome the 42. Sellers made aggressions and buyers absorbed. We're seeing buyers absorbing up here, so we could see a breakout. I always say that absorptions at the highs shows that a breakout could happen, but not necessarily will happen. So after the breakout, we should see continuity of aggressions and buying absorptions in upper levels, but we're seeing, you see, it seems to be really weak. You see, we failed. There was an exhaustion in 150. Now we're at 3 points below, but buyers trying again. We're seeing sellers absorbing all the way. Buyers making aggressions, but sellers absorbing. Look here, from 39 to 41. This within these 2 points, there buyers are putting pressure, but sellers succeeding in. Oh, look here. Look the size of these aggressions here. Big blocks, okay. But sellers absorbed it. And now there was an exhaustion lower than the 150. Look at this 40.75. Let's see if they will be able to overcome it. Look here. They made what would be needed. They made some aggressions, but we see that the big aggressions were only until 40.25. They've made big blocks, but it seems to be lacking some conviction. And look here at the 4,000 ticks at the chart. We're seeing that it's the fourth candle, third candle in this region that is currently the point of control. So buyers are finding resistance lower than the previous one. It's pretty much the same place, but we could consider it's actually a bit lower than it's even a weak. It's we could say it's a weakness signal. We see now that sellers were able to push until the 825, but now are up there. But buyers are really are facing strong difficulty to overcome the 41. As I've mentioned, if we see an exhaustion above the 42, this could be a clear signal of weakness and then could lead a good short, but so far we're sideways. Kind of sideways, not actually sideways, but we are stuck from 38 to 41 in the latest minutes. Let's see this time if they will be able, if sellers will be able to push until the 36. 36. It does not mean that after failing twice up there, it would necessarily have a breakout down here. We could establish limits on Friday, I guess. In the morning, we've seen this, even though it was a kind of a try of a breakout in the range, but failed. It failed immediately after the breakout, so it led to good opportunities to trade the range. Both, oh, look here. This is a weakness signal. We failed up there. Now we are in another important region and sellers is defending here, okay? We have a high volume, so it's difficult to do something here, but seeing sellers making this absorption, this clear signal of weakness from buyers and defense. Let's see the 33 if they will reach the 33 or at least the 350. Let's see here. So far, we have an exhaustion for 75, but they're putting pressure. We could see at least maybe 33. Let's see if it will reach another exhaustion 34. Sellers absorbing in 5. This shows that sellers keep putting pressure, not only with aggression but defense. Absorption again. Let's see the 33. Let's see if they will be able to push down here until where? Exhaustion 32. Low is 125. Sellers keep putting pressure, but we had an exhaustion here, but it's hard to trust it right at this moment. Do you see sellers absorbing in the lower end? This is shows that they're actually trying to put pressure, maybe in look here, 700, 179, 21, 0. This is a clear classical exhaustion. Right in the second try here, it would be a bit risky to. It's a trade that could be tried, but a bit risky. Now we are seeing after, if we had this range really clear, actually clear, it would be a bit more comfortable to try this. But what we're seeing is that players have interest on it. So maybe trading below the 32 and failing another exhaustion below the 31. If we see a breakout and exhaustion around 29, then in my perspective, this could be an opportunity. But we see that even with the defense, buyers were not able in the very first try. Were not able to overcome the 35, okay? Remember that this was the previous important region, and after getting close to the low, they're failing to overcome the previous defense area. Exhaustion there. Look here. Let's see. Not sure if there will if players will be incentivized to, if there's any reason to make a stronger correction. We could see market sideways. We're seeing here, look here in the 4,000 ticks, is the fourth tick. We are close to this region. In the 2-minute, the latest low in 2-minute was higher than regular sessions low. Let's see. Let's see if it's going to lose the 32. Remembering that I mentioned about the 44.31. Look here, for you guys that didn't see the beginning, let's see the breakout, just a second. Look, this exhaustion in 175. This is not that good for sellers, but they're putting a stronger pressure this time. Let's see. They put lots of pressure in the low, no exhaustion so far, but buyers defending. But look here, sellers really putting pressure, buyers absorbing all the volume. Oh, now this exhaustion here, we should keep this in mind, but they're putting pressure. Look, see, 700, 600, 582. It would be better to see if they would trade below the 30 here. Yeah, they're strong. Let's see to where they will be able to push. Well, now it has broken. Oh, look here, how sellers are really interested in pushing price down. Buyers defended and they absorbed all this amount here. Let's see if they will be able to hold prices this time, this region. This is actually the beginning of the range, the 30. We had an exhaustion in 28.50. Let's see now we could have a stronger, we could maybe move upwards again. Let's see. To the continuity of the fall, the drop, it would be important not to re-enter here and keep trading here. It would be important to maybe reach here the 30, 31 and move downwards again. Let's see. Let's see if it keeps trading below the 30, then we could see the continuity. What I was mentioning was about this Fibonacci retracement we have at 44.27. That is right the region we are pretty much the region we are currently trading. So let's see. From the beginning, I was telling about the relevance of the 44.30, and we are really seeing buyers trying to defend it. So if we see this weekly chart, we pass it through the 44.27, and it would be interesting to see a retest in the 30 region. And if we see buyers being able to hold prices holding on here in the 30, then we could consider the possibility, it could increase the possibilities of moving towards the 80, 90 again. Let's see this base of the range here, the 31. But so far we are seeing it's facing prices facing difficult to overcome the 35, but different from what we've seen up there. We've seen that this time we need to read the context and get the clues. After the first highs it made, then in the next attempt, we've seen defense lower, a bit lower. Okay, buyers failed to push prices until the previous high. But on the other hand, when moving downwards, there was at first there was a defense, but then sellers were able to hold the defense, to hold the upward move, and are able to reassume the pressure. Okay, it does not mean that they will succeed and will have a downtrend, but so far in these latest minutes we are seeing that sellers are stronger than buyers. Let's see the 850 if they will be able to break the 250, the 850 here, 825. we had a defense from 32 to 33. They really defended there. So this fail to overcome the 33 could be a signal now, but another exhaustion in 875. This kind of exhaustion in the low, it's not good for the trend, for those who are trying to make the breakout. Let's see, this struggle down here. But the message so far is 30 is actually an important region. It confirmed the possibility we raised before. And after so many tries here, if we see an exhaustion, sellers exhaustion, or buyers increasing the appetite, then we could see a new test at the 40, but no conclusion so far. Let's see. But did you see I've mentioned about this exhaustion in 875? You're pretty much at the low. Then instead of making a big block, sellers got quiet and only 9 contracts right at the low. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Yeah, we're seeing that we see here in the 4000 ticks. Let's see if we get a big green candle here, this could be a signal that we could start a reversal. I like seeing after seeing engulf here will be difficult because you have big shadows, but I like seeing price getting sideways in the low, for example, in this case. And then when I see a big green candle, especially when it engulfs a couple of others, this is a strong sign. And then looking at the order flow, we can get some entering opportunities. But we see that point of control is right here. Anyway, point of control so far, this 40 minutes is difficult because you see that we have many regions with high volume or similar volume. But you see that it reached 32, quickly defended. Yeah, the 30 region of 35 to 3650, it's right in the middle of the it's not actually a final of the end of a range in 35, but look here. After many sellers tries attempts down there, it seems that maybe this could push a bit up. upwards. Let's see. And at the same time, let's see until where buyers will be able to, they'll be strong enough to push. We see 3,000, 2,000, 2,000, 1,000 contracts here in the 35.75. So we see the kind of range here. I wouldn't trade this, but we see that it could fail around the 35, and failing reaching 36 could be a weakness signal. Okay, guys, just 1 minute. I will be closing my microphone just for 1 minute, just a second. Let's see. Back again to the 30s. Yeah, that fail in 35 for 75 actually. It could increase in this scenario. This fail at 35, in my way of reading, it could lead to now maybe a breakout. Okay, we found a resistance. It would be to consider a lateralization. It, we could see it would be better to see price moving upwards and maybe failing at the 40. But since it failed right in the way and below the 35, actually, it failed below at the 34, did you see here? Then this fail up there would increase the likelihood of a breakout down here. And then at this time, it would be hard to consider an exhaustion and try to make a counter trend. Now this could be a breakout, and it would be risky to try to take an exhaustion and move the counter trend. Okay, and did you see I've just mentioned sellers kept putting pressure, buyers absorbed it, but sellers absorbed it as well. But remembering that in a broader perspective, I've mentioned the 27 as the 27 as the Fibonacci, so we could consider from 20 to 40 actually the region, isn't it? Fibonacci is a broader perspective, a couple of months to make a reference. Then it's not that precise to for day traders like us, but they're actually a good reference. So the 30 has been broken, and to continue the downward move, it would be interesting to see prices failing to overcome the 28, okay? Because if it re-enter the 30 and trade consistently here and try to move, then it could abort this slide. But failing to consistently trade above the 28 could lead to, in this case, failing at the 28, if we see pressure at 25 again, we could see the continuity of the breakout, the continuity of the downtrend, I mean. So for this first 47 minutes of session, we're now more bearish than bullish. 22 is another reference I have. Let's see if it will respect it. Let's see if to respect it. But you see, I've mentioned the 28. It didn't even reach the 28. Okay, so at this moment, sellers are really stronger. You will see here, there was an exhaustion here, okay? But in such a condition, we're in a steep drop. Sellers putting lots of pressure, lots of absorption as well in defense. It's risky to consider an exhaustion. For scalpers, really use it with moves, or it it could maybe lead to a 2 points, 3 point scalp. But in such a strong drop with volume, oh Aaron, I've just read your message. Oh, 10 points. Good guy. Congrats. 10 points is really good. And you're a smart guy. Done for the day. Totally agree with you. Mission accomplished. The 22, let's see the 22. We see 20 points under that 41. Remember, for those that have watched the beginning of the stream, we had a fail in the 41.50 up here. There 20 points down, 20 points under. So we need to see, let's see this week how the drivers will be, what will be the market drivers, what we will read, because analysts always, or journalists, they're always explaining. Afterwards, we have always explanation after the facts. So let's see how they will explain this week's move, and how actually market players will trade after that rally. If there will be another, what will be the key drivers to keep monitoring inflation. Oh, yeah, but you see that it's bearish. We're seeing after losing the 30, things became easy for bears to move. Did you see how they're easily displacing price? Yeah, Aaron, that's it. Every session we have at least one fat guy speaking. In some sessions there are two guys. Yeah, it's lots of noise, and it's interesting because since Fed funk is composed by many people, they have different opinions, and we can see things shaken as well. Look the size of this red bar here in the 15 minutes. This is the 22. We've lost the 22. Kind of an attempt of defense, but quickly lost the region from 34. Remember, 20 points from 34. I mentioned about the 35, but that I wouldn't trade that condition since it was in the middle of the range. But failing there would be a weakness signal, and fail was right there, right at the 34. The fail at 35 led to this 20-point opportunity. Let's see. It would be when we are trending, we see that light green up here. You have lots of trades or a big volume up there. But then when we start trending, it becomes more difficult to see that volume concentration. So I will stop in a couple of minutes. Let's see if there will be another range formed from 14 to 30. Let's see if sellers will be able to keep pushing down, or oh, Aaron, nice. You took the failure at 35. Yes, it was. It seemed to at the first point, at the first moment, I thought it was since it was right in the middle of the range, but looking at here at the chart, it was the second time failing at the second time there, and it's actually you're fully right. It could lead to a good opportunity. We're seeing now this defense here in the 15, but so far, from what we've seen, it's been hard to trust in points since after losing the 30. Sellers were really able to make a lot of pressure and make big displacements. Now we're seeing defense here. We could see kind of getting sideways. Did you see this volume? 1,000 contracts. Then you could see it would be possible to see things getting a bit stuck, at least in this region, before continuing. Lots of intensity here, but since bears are actually strong, hard to trust it. When you see such a defense, it's common, it's usual to see ranging before, but it seems that now they're just continuing. But anyway, after that rally, and considering the uncertainties market is still submitted, it was just a matter of time to see players making profit. Yeah, Aaron, you're right. After a strong move, at some point it would be expected to make this to start ranging or to pause at least. But certainly there are lots of players making closing trades and making profits this week because we've moved it almost it reached 200, huh? To from the breakout at 242.80 to 44.90. So we have probably many people taking profit. So let's see, I would say that the 30, as I mentioned, it was relevant before, and we see that it was not that easy to break it when moving upwards if not only in this session, but when reaching the 30 again, we could see resistance. We could see it working as a resistance again. Then, let's see, but all we're seeing are sellers ruling the match. Huge 50-minute bar. Around one indicator, you can change the labels to blank and they will not show names on chart. Ah, okay, Aaron, I will try this. There's a lot of 3 lines written up here. It actually disturbs reading. I will do this. Strong defense here. Big absorption, buying absorption in 11. Let's see who will be the strongest. It was a big absorption right in the low. Let's see I'll take my spreadsheet to check the down here I have 1113, and yeah, it's right the region we are. 1113, then below it I have 0205. Let's see, 1113. I'll look this absorption, selling absorption. Well, 11:30, 1 hour of transmission. As usual, I will be finishing right here. Hope you have enjoyed. It was interesting. We have interesting opportunities to mention this session. Interesting moves as well. Aaron, Obrigado, obrigadão por estar junto aí de novo. This week, as I've mentioned, I will make this live stream every morning. So I intend to be here every session. We'll be together here. You see, we have a huge volume here in the lows. Okay, let's see if you see price getting sideways, because getting sideways here then could lead and buyers able to defend, then we could see a draft of a reaction. But so far we're seeing sellers really strong, but watch out. Okay, so guys, Aaron, again, see you tomorrow. Um abraço e obrigado. Qualquer dúvida aí assistindo os vídeos, deixa comentário. Falando agora, às vezes tem brasileiros, às vezes assistindo. Eu comecei a fazer um conteúdo em português. Quaisquer dúvidas, deixem comentários aí que eu vou ter prazer em responder. Guys, any doubts, just drop me a comment. I'll be glad to answer you. See you guys. Have a nice session. Take care.